Hi everyone, my name is HoodatQueen94. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a huge New Orleans Saints fan, as well as being a huge fan of the NFL. And Week 5 is officially in the books, if you can believe it or not. We had some really good entertaining games, such as ours. And we had some really bad games. Possibly the worst game I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Well, not entire life, but since I started watching the NFL. But either way, it was a game so bad that you cannot believe what you were witnessing, but you simply just couldn't look away. Well, I do speak for myself when I say that, because I myself watched that game through its entirety because football. What other reason is there? But either way, we've got a few games to discuss, so without further ado, let's go ahead and let's talk about the Saints and the Seahawks. Alright, I do have my computer with me. I'm going to say that in every single video, I feel. Okay, so, first quarter. Okay, so in the first quarter, Saints get the ball to start and score with a Will Lutz field goal from 56, making it a 3-0 game. DK Metcalf then scores a 50-yard touchdown for Seattle, making it a 7-3 game. Penny gets a big run of 32 or 30, I'm not exactly sure which one it was. Either way, Jason Myers ends up kicking a 56-yarder to make it a 10-3 game. Taysom Hill returns it for Hardy, who is listed as out, and fumbles, but does recover, fortunately. Not much to talk about there. In the second quarter, Saints play a decent drive, and Taysom goes in for the touchdown to make it a 10-10 game with 10:54. Jordan comes up big and sacks Gino, forcing them to punt. Michael Dixon, the punter of the Seahawks, tries to run for it on 4th and 9, fumbles on possibly what was the most bizarre thing I think I've seen in football this entire season. That's why it was on Come On Man. I mean, I feel so sorry for him, but man, was that just super bizarre. Either way, it was recovered by Taysom. A few plays later, Taysom goes in for the touchdown, making it the second of the day for him, making it a 17-10 game with 3:34 left in the quarter. Smith throws to Fant for 32 yards, moving the chains. Seahawks are in the red zone at the 2-minute warning. Smith throws a heck of a ball to Metcalf, who drops the pass in the end zone, forcing a 31-yard field goal. Myers makes it a 13-17 game. Saints have the ball at the 2-minute warning. Go hurry up offense. Saints get a hand to the face penalty in what was relatively a penalty-free game at that point. Next few plays, Kamara fumbles. Seahawks capitalize with a touchdown to Lockett for 35 yards, but the PAT is no good. Seahawks lead Saints 19-17 going into the half. Third quarter. At the start of the third, Metcalf fumbles, and the Saints recover it on what could be perceived as controversial. Adam Troutman drops a touchdown, but then Olave drops the catch, but it is ruled a touchdown anyways, as he had 2 feet down and was in bounds, held the ball long enough. Anyway, it was the right call is what I'm trying to say. Pete Werner sacks Gino, forcing them to punt. Rashard Penny is ruled out for the rest of the game, as is Olave with a concussion. Andy Dalton throws his first interception with the Saints with 4:58 left in the third. A holding call takes away a Metcalf touchdown. Kamara with a big run of 54 yards puts the Saints in the red zone. Taysom throws his first touchdown to Troutman, making it a 31-19 game to end the third. Geno Smith goes long, but Lattimore gets a pass interference call. Geno then goes long for Lockett for 40 yards for the touchdown and the attempted 2-point, but it falls incomplete, making it a 31-25 game. A beautiful ball is thrown by Andy, which is dropped by, I didn't catch it if it was Smith or if it was Callaway, but it was dropped regardless, making it the third or fourth drop pass of the game. On 4th and 3, the Saints get a false start on what should have been an offsides on Seattle, which would have given the Saints the first down, but are forced to punt instead. Walker finds a hole in the defense and runs for 69 yards for Seattle, making making a 32-31 game with 6:54 left. Taysom Hill runs for 60 yards for the touchdown. Saints go for 2 with Ingram and get it, making it a 39-32 game with 5:22 left. Cameron Jordan would then sack Geno Smith on 3rd down. Saints get the ball back, run a few plays, run the clock, pick up the 1st down with Kamara at the 2-minute warning. Seattle would get a personal foul, giving the Saints a new set of downs, which would put the nail in the coffin. Saints beat Seahawks 39-32. So that was a mouthful, but let's talk about it. So this game wasn't pretty, to say the least. It got frustrating at times, missed opportunities here and there. What's new? Plenty of mistakes on both teams, but the important thing is that we won and we covered the spread, if that means anything to you. We put up 40 points, the most that we put up all year, and it could have been more. Well, no, I'm sorry, did I say we put up 40 points? My bad. We put up almost 40 points rounded out. My apologies on that. Well, we could have put up more than 39, if you think about it. I know I said that I like ping pong games, and I do, but when it doesn't involve my team. Because I don't like, being frustrated and, getting my emotions all up into it. But either way, it was one heck of a game. I think if you're a fan of any other team, you would have loved this game. I think it was the alcohol. I needed to completely forget about that Colts-Broncos game. But, yeah. But we have to talk negatives, because there were quite a few negatives in this game, and we have to mention it. So, offensively, we fumbled on a critical moment on a drive that, had we probably kept going, would have resulted in points. Andy Dalton did throw his first pick with the Saints. Plenty of drop passes here and there. We also had several penalties, one that should have actually gone against the Seahawks, but it's the Saints. What are you going to do about that, right? Defensively, we got torched in the secondary. I mean, just completely burned. Lattimore got a PI. What's new? Why is it always Lattimore? Either way. Defensively, we did allow 142 yards rushing and failed to contain Walker on a huge play of the game for Seattle. By the way, my thoughts are with Penny. I hope he recovers well, and I'm very sorry to hear about his season ending. I don't wish that on any player, so my thoughts are with him. Getting back to it, Geno Smith had 286 yards passing, and Metcalf and Lockett had a combined total of 192 yards. As both would score at least one touchdown, I believe that Lockett was the one who had more receiving yards, if I'm not mistaken. Which I said last week that could happen, that we have to contain both of them, in which we contained neither, so that's a problem. Bad tackling, one-on-one uneven matchups, just not our best performance, especially in the secondary. And we really need to get that cleaned up moving forward. But let's talk positives, because there's quite a few positives that we got to talk about. Taysom Hill, and more Taysom Hill. Need I say more? I mean, aside from Kamara, I think that Taysom Hill is one of our best assets out there on the field. And I don't know why he gets so much slack. I assume it's probably because he fumbles quite a bit, which, even in this game he did, but fortunately he recovered. But I still kind of don't understand why some Saints fans are still not on the Taysom bandwagon. But, I mean, I sure as heck am. I mean, I love this guy. So, listen, the defense had no answers for him. And because of Taysom's astounding and incredible performance, listen, we got the run game going. We got the tight ends involved. I mean, he had more rushing yards than Kamara did. And shout out to Kamara for actually giving us some points in fantasy, right? If you started him. I think I still lost, though. I think I started Kamara and still lost, but still, Dalton had a pretty decent game there. Only 187 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But still, Olave had a decent game. Not sure when he'll be back. I assume probably not this week. but we'll see. We dominated time of possession, if that means anything to you. To me, it doesn't really mean that much, just because you can spend 7 minutes on a drive and cough it up, whereas another team could spend like 3 minutes and score a touchdown. But if that matters to you, we completely dominated time of possession in this game. But either way, I still think defensively we need to get more interceptions, more forced fumbles, but I like the effort up front, and I liked how we utilized Taysom. But, defense played better with the exception of, the guys up front played better with the exception of that one touchdown. I feel like the defense, though, is very different than it was last season. And I feel like it changed when DA took over as head coach, because that defense last year was so prolific, was so great. And then it just feels like this season they haven't really measured up to what they were last season. I don't know if I'm the only person that feels like that. Not to knock on DA or anything. I have my issues with DA. There are certain things that, I don't think he's anything like Sean Payton, where I think Sean Payton would kind of be more on the guys. I don't get that vibe from DA, but I could be wrong. I don't know what goes on in the locker room, but either way, since we won, there's no need to really knock on him at this point. But it was a battle, and we battled it out. We lost a lot of guys in this battle, but a win is a win. Best of luck to Seattle moving forward. I have absolutely no beef with this team. Probably my favorite team in that division, so best of luck to the Seahawks moving forward. Okay, let's talk Bengals and Saints. I'm going to be blunt. I don't think that the Bengals are very good this year. They have the same record that we do. And, this is a team who was in the Super Bowl and probably should have won the Super Bowl, but listen, I don't think it was really written for them anyway, so, but I really think they should have won it. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. The battle of the Whodats versus the Whodays. And assuming Dalton plays, this could be a nice little revenge game for him. But is it really revenge if your time just ran out? Now, I assume Andy Dalton will play. I know that Jameis Winston was, I think he was practicing, but I still think that Andy Dalton will start this game. I could be wrong, but hey. Either way, the 2 wins that the Bengals have are against the Dolphins, which maybe if Teddy Bridgewater didn't throw a terrible pick, who knows. I think they beat the Jets, which I'm not going to knock on the Jets. Jets are pretty good, surprisingly. But all their losses have been really, really close. And they did have an opportunity to win on Sunday, but the more I think about it, the more I think that's probably just, written for Baltimore. But either way, Bengals are favored to win this game by 1. So how can we beat the Bengals at home, since this is a home game? Well, I would probably start with Burrow. He has had over 200 yards in every single game this season, with the exception of one, where he had 199, which, tomato, right? Well, we should sack him, get an interception, make him very uncomfortable in the pocket, blitz him, do what you gotta do. Take away Jamar Chase if possible, and don't let him go off like we've been letting these wide receivers go off on us. Secondary needs to step up. I don't know if May will be back in this game. We have a ton of injuries, so I don't know who's gonna play in this game or who's not. Could be last second decisions. But if he does play, it would be really helpful to us. But either way, no stupid penalties. I always say that every single week. No stupid penalties. They have Higgins. They got Boyd. They use their tight end Hurts a lot. Him, I'm not too concerned about, just because we're pretty good at defending the tight end. Stop the run, contain Mixon, and I think throw a P run in there. Stop him as well. Make sure that they don't get more than 100 yards rushing. Offensively, just keep doing what you've been doing, but it might be tough to run on them. That's what I did notice. They haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher all season, if I did look at the stats correctly. But listen, if we throw Taysom Hill in there, if he's active, Kamara and Ingram, that could be subject to change. Something to note there. Play smart, play cleanly, the drill. Same thing I say every single week, and we should be fine. I think that this is a very winnable game. We are 2-3. We have moved up to second place in the division. I still think it's up for grabs, but because of the NFL and how it likes to cater to Tom Brady, I don't know. I don't know anymore. I've lost hope and faith in this. Just because, listen, the refs are changing the rules to cater to this 45-year-old baby who's actually 55 because the NFL ages you 10 years, or so I've heard. So he's technically 55. But granted, the same thing happened against the Chiefs, right? Either way, it's like, that is the most ridiculous thing I think you can call in a game, in my honest opinion. I mean, the special treatment that they are literally giving Brady, it's despicable. I mean, I don't even care who it's against. It's just, when you lose a game to Tom Brady, like, because of nonsense like that, I mean, I almost feel for them, you know? I mean, look, the Falcons can hate us all they want, and vice versa, no love lost there, but listen, I don't think that the Falcons can possibly hate us more than they possibly hate Tom Brady right now. So I think that's something all three of us have in common. Well, except maybe for the Panthers, who probably do hate themselves. So, still, either way, we'll see what happens. But I think that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, my name is HudaQueen94. I am also on Twitter under the same name, where I live tweet games sometimes. If you'd like to give me a follow, I'd much appreciate that. I could use more followers, make me more encouraged to tweet more. But either way, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If not, that's okay. No worries. If you'd like to subscribe, I'd much appreciate that. If not, that's cool as well. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Go Saints. Who dat, baby? Alright.